Hi there. I want to talk about the science of proactivity, why people do the things that they do. Now, there are 4 dimensions of proactivity. You have the stage 1, which is the wish stage. A lot of people wish they could exercise more, people wish they could read more, people wish they could take that extra course. That's the wish stage. Then the second stage is the desire stage, where more than just wish, you take a step. Like, okay, I wish I could read more, I'll go ahead and buy a couple books, but they may never read it. So that's the desire stage. It's a stage higher. There's another step higher, where is a passion stage. You don't just buy a book. You go ahead and you start reading a few pages of the book. There's the other stage where you take action. That is, you read it and you read it from start to finish. So those are 4 stages. Let me go through them again. You have wish, desire, passion, and action. Now, how do you go from one stage to a higher stage? There are 3 reasons, or there are 3 factors that can lead to that. The first one I want to talk about is what I call pain. Pain is a motivator, it's a motivating factor. And I'll give you an example. There was an organization that had a high-rise building and they encouraged people to take the staircase rather than take the elevator because it was healthier. Hi there. Once upon a time in my life, I was addicted to football. I was able to break my football addiction. Then I was addicted to carbonated soft drinks. I was able to break that addiction to carbonated soft drinks. And then I was able to start new patterns in my life, consistent patterns like learning voraciously, memorizing. I eventually memorized 10 books of the Bible, over 10 books of the Bible by the grace of God. I am facilitating a training where I want to show you how to break free from negative patterns, limiting habits, overcome limiting beliefs, start new habits, build it, and then build a life that you desire, create a life that you desire, and build good positive patterns. I'm also facilitating a training on how individuals become institutions, where I show you how individuals built institutions and how they were able to use harsh economic climates and recessions to their advantage. It's a training for anybody that wants to excel in any area of your life. Right now, you can see the flyers and the QR code on your screen. I look forward to seeing you there. God bless you. Do have an amazing day, and back to the video. It was better for the organization for people to take the staircase and the elevator. They made announcements, put signboards and all that, but it didn't work. People didn't do anything. So they made taking the elevator painful. They reduced the speed at which the elevator would close. They made it very slow. So it became very irritating for people to wait so long for the elevator doors rather to close. So people got irritated and started taking the staircase. And guess what? People started taking the staircase. Why? Because they made it painful. So if you want to do something else, make the present thing you are doing that you want to stop doing, make it painful. Make it painful in some way. Pain is a motivator that gets people from one stage of proactivity to a higher stage. But guess what? Do you know that when they returned the speed of the doors that were closing slowly, when they returned it to its previous stage, people didn't even stop taking the staircase. They had gotten used to it. So the people could just continue taking the staircase. That's number 1. The second thing I want to talk about, so pain does that. I want to give you another example. The example of 2 of my favorite rappers, when I used to listen to rap music, Christopher Rios, also known as Big Punisher, and Fat Joe. They were 2 people who were very fat. Fat Joe and Big Pun were 2 very fat rappers. Now, Big Pun eventually died of being obese. That's why he died. He died of being obese. When he died, Fat Joe, out of that pain and the reality of the fact that this weight can kill me, he began to work on his diet. He began to work on his lifestyle habit, and then he went from being maybe about 500 pounds to being about 250 pounds, because he went through a painful season where he lost one of his best friends due to being overweight. So pain is a motivator, whether we like it or not. Pain is a motivator. The second thing I want to talk about that motivates us is community. And I'll give you a great example. The community you put yourself in can do wonders to you, can do wonders. Are we surprised that Stanford University produces more unicorns than any other university in the world? Is it a surprise? No. Why? Because of Stanford University is a place that has a lot of unicorns. A lot of unicorns. So when people come there, they begin to think like that. Okay, I can start this, I can do this, I can do that. Okay, but let me give you this example. It's the example of the United States basketball team at the Olympics. One of the Olympics is where they won gold. At this Olympics, they had players like Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, great players like Kevin Durant, so many great players. But guess what? At this particular Olympics, they call it the Redeemed Team. The Redeemed Team, because they had lost the previous one to Spain, so they wanted to redeem it. So that's why they call it the Redeemed Team. Now, Kobe Bryant was waking up at 4 a.m. every morning to train. He was the only one. The moment his teammates noticed he was waking up at 4 a.m. every morning, they began to wake up at 4 a.m. Can you see? Their proactivity increased. Why? Because they were around somebody who was, in quotes, more driven than they were. So they began to wake up at 4 a.m. to train. So the second thing is community. The first thing that can affect your proactivity is pain. The second thing is community. The third thing is consistency. consistency. Now, have you ever heard a song on radio you didn't like? You heard it for the first time, you didn't like, and radio continued to play it and play it and play it and play it. And as they continue to play it, guess what? Like, oh, hold on a minute, I like this song. Guess what? I'm even going to play this song. I'm going to learn this song. I'm going to get used to this song. Guess what? Because of consistency. So one of the things that you can do to get yourself from one level to another, of proactivity to another, is consistency. At a point in my life, I didn't like praying, but I was just consistent with praying few minutes a day, and today I love to pray. There are so many habits I have picked up in my life that I love to do today that I did not like initially, but consistency builds me from one level of proactivity to another. So 3 things that you can do to increase your level of proactivity, from wish to desire, from desire to passion, and from passion to action, execution. It is pain, community, and consistency. If you make the opposite thing more painful, this can push you into doing what you want to do. If you put yourself in the right community, it can push you. And if you embrace consistency at lower stages, at lower levels, if you engage in fragmented consistency, it will help you. I hope this works well for you. God bless you. Do have an amazing day, and bye for now. And that is the science of proactivity.